go, man. Right on. Welcome back to Pineys Garage. I'm Mark.
I'm Jeff.
All right. We're the backyard DIY mechanics you see on YouTube. Getting dirty.
The unconventional way of getting things done.
That's right.
Absolutely. Does it work? Yes.
It works. So, what are we going to see this week? We're going to see the Jeep, aren't we?
Yes, we're going to see some work on the Jeep.
Uh-huh.
I put some wheel spacers on a couple years ago. I liked the way they looked, but I was trying to save some tread on my Goodyear door track tires, and I put Ford Explorer wheels on it. The lugs don't go in quite as far, and sure enough, after a couple of years old, the wheel spacers snapped a couple studs, and I had to replace them. So you'll see that a little bit of that going on.
Yeah, we're going to find out what she knocks means. We got a series of knockers. We got the babies, the mid guys, and the papa.
We're gonna get shirts made.
So
does she knock?
Does she knock? We're gonna see a couple oil changes. Beetle, Xterra oil change.
You'll see a couple cool little tidbits about oil changes, little secrets I like to use that no one probably ever will. I got my truck stuck really bad.
What type of truck is it?
A '96 Jeep Cherokee Sport.
Right on.
Yeah. And I blew the heating out on it. And it took me a while to figure out exactly what it was, but you'll see my morale slowly degrade throughout the episode.
Turns out to be something simple.
Yeah, as it usually as it usually is, unfortunately. I talk a little bit about a winch I put on the front of my Jeep. It's a 5,000-pound Badlands from Harbor Freight, but the Jeep's only like 3,300 pounds, so I ain't worried about pulling anyone else out. I just want to pull myself out if I get stuck. I usually go out with other people anyway, but most people I think probably recommend a 7,000 or 9,000. But the 5, it got me out of a jam. I'm happy about that. So you'll see a little bit of that. You'll see me work on some electrical stuff, and that's pretty much what we did that episode. It was just pretty much putzing around that weekend. It probably, if I remember, I think it almost snowed that weekend. So.
Almost.
Yeah.
Not bad. All right. Got it? All right. Awesome, man.
You see, folks, what you want to do is you want to grab the anvil, inspect the anvil, make sure that the detent ball is in good shape so this way your sockets stick. Sometimes that wears, you got to replace. But twist it. And if there's play, that's how you know she knocks.
What are you working on, Chip?
Well, today I had tires from a '98 Ford Explorer on this to try to save some wear and tear on these big boys, but unfortunately I broke some fucking wheel spacers because it's the wrong lugs. So what we're going to do here is put these back on, took them off the Ford Explorer, and we're going to not use wheel spacers because honestly it's premature wear and tear on your ball joints. It changes the geometry of your suspension. The only reason I like the wheel spacers is for a wider footprint. You're a little bit lighter going through the mud, easier to do donuts. But yeah, I mean, I broke $100 wheel hubs like that, so you know what I'm saying? Yahtzee! Yeah! Now I have the baby knocker out here. She has play, so you know she knocks. But here's the thing, these are torqued down very, very heavy. Typically you'd put a crowbar here and break them. But we want to try to avoid damaging the threads. You even know I'm throwing these out. The baby knocker doesn't have the knock. Big anvil, big play, means big knock. Big gun, big knock. Ah, she might be defeated. 24 inches of knock right here. Typically you'd put a rag around this if you're going to reuse it, but we're not, so we'll just break them free. And then we'll let the big knocker finish it off. That's pretty much all she wrote.
There we go.
Hey, listen, I haven't forgot about your 30-pack Christmas tip. I just haven't gotten around to it.
What?
I said I haven't forgotten about your 30-pack Christmas tip.
Oh.
What beer do you prefer? Or do you not drink? You don't drink?
I don't drink. I had a problem when I was in the military.
Yeah.
And I actually...
That's not called a problem.
That's what you're supposed to do. Alright, so we took the old oil filter out it depends on the vehicle, but this vehicle has a screw-on top canister that the oil filter sits inside. It's actually not an aluminum oil filter, it's paper that slides in. Most 6-quart vehicles, I usually buy a 5-quart jug because the 5-quart jug is cheaper. And then I'll get an additive. It's half the price of a quart, and it's an oil treatment that stabilizes the oil. So it's 1 ounce less than what you would normally put in. It's not a big deal. You can use any brand, doesn't matter. This is 5 versus 10. I will dump this into the oil filter so that the oil pump stays nice and primed when you start it.
Actually, what are we trying to figure out?
We are trying to reset the service on the Beetle for the oil. Basically, 34,000 miles. Basically, it has a counter of when the oil is due. And if you don't reset it, the light will come on when obviously you get to that 10,000 mile mark. We don't wait till 10,000 miles. We do our oil much sooner. Depending on how you drive the vehicle, that's when you should change the oil. Weekend day at Pineys garage. Yesterday was about 55 degrees and rainy, terribly. Everything was soaked. Today it's sunny, which is great, but now it's 40 with 40-mile-an-hour wind. So as you can see, Pineys garage, you know, we do what we can with what we got. You know, the garage money we could be spending on renting a garage, we're buying in turbo parts. I think the lesson of the day here, folks, is if you go four-wheeling and you take on a lot of water, do yourself a favor, make sure your radio's off, make sure your heat's off. Because when you go through that mud puddle and you start taking on water and you forget what you're doing and you start to panic and you start thinking to yourself, oh, how am I gonna get out? You don't turn your shit off, and sure enough, you start shorting things. So, but we're on the upswing. I tested out on the 96 Jeep Cherokee. A lot of people recommend at least a 7,000 or 9,000 pound winch. I chose to get a Badlands Harbor Freight 5,000 pound winch. And I was a little bit worried about it. And I'll be honest with you, I had this truck buried in some very deep mud. My right side, the right side of my Jeep went in all the way up to the seat, as you can see. I have some cleaning to do. All right, status update. Status update. Don't ever fucking work on electrical. I have tested from the blower motor and worked my way backwards all the way back to the fuse. The fuse is now good, which it was before. And now I have to actually figure out where it goes from the fuse because it's bad after that point. So I've never gone this deep, but I'm about to. So it's great. Extra horsepower. All right, so I measured and sliced a tiny slice. The wire sneaks right through for the inline fuse. Totally not how you're supposed to fix a short, but I am not fucking digging through wire. Now, I thought about wiring it into the switch here for the actual fan, but the problem with that is the short is somewhere here in this wire. So that's not gonna be an option. So this has to go to the resistor, which is why we did what we did. But I'm gonna bolt that up, I'm gonna clean the outside up, and we're gonna move into the inside and finish the inside. And dude, I am gonna cross my fingers that when I hit that heat, it's gonna turn on. I don't know, we'll see. Fucking ridiculous, man, this is bullshit. So, I'm gonna try to find the black and tan wire right behind my heater, which is already fucking so short, I need needle nose pliers to put it on. And I'm gonna try to hook to there, and hopefully that'll solve the problem. I don't know. Fucking, that's what you gotta do with electrical work, is you have to just keep trying and trying and trying until something works. All right, so I'm starting to run out of patience, and I'm gonna put a switch on it very soon. I have one more spot to try. I'm gonna try to dig behind the dashboard a little bit. But here's the heater wire. So once again, look, Something shorted somewhere. With the heat off, it's still powering up. The resistor is working properly, but the problem is the power is always on. Where is this, is what I need to figure out. What determines the turning on and off? What determines the turning on and off? What determines the turning on and off? Here at Piney's Garage, sometimes the easiest fixes are the right fixes. Here's what happened. I spent all weekend trying to diagnose an electrical problem that initially in the beginning, as you saw in the beginning, there was a bad fuse. Here's the thing. See this wiring harness in this picture? See how this guy's wiring harness melted? Mine did the same thing. And what I had to do is I had to put all of these on singles. See how they're all on singles, folks? Well, check it out. When I looked up yesterday where these go, it wasn't the same picture as that. And the diagram wasn't the same either. I hooked those wires up wrong yesterday. So all this frustration, all this work you've seen all weekend was because two of these wires were backwards. That wire I ran, all this shit I did, not necessary. Basically, at this point, I just need to clean up my mess, and it's fixed. All it was a fuse. But you know what I don't understand, Piney's Garage, folks? Is when I replaced that fuse yesterday and tried it, why didn't it work? So that I don't know, folks. But whatever I did between fixing the fuse and the fuse not working and whatever I just switched there, everything's okay. So I think I'm gonna clean up.
That's gonna kill you.